Okay, five more of my favorite non-metal, but metal adjacent releases, I'd say. Just things both new and old that have endured through the years, or ones that I think are going to endure through the years. So, gonna start off with probably the biggest name here, Fu Manchu, King of the Road. This came out in 1999, and this is one of their major label releases, but probably the least spoken of their major label releases. I think this is their best album. Hell on Wheels, Over the Edge, Boogie Van, No Dice, Weird Beard, Hot Doggin'. This CD rules, one of the best stoner rock albums ever. But this is a fun record. This isn't a doom metal thing. This is definitely a summertime, good times record. Check it out. Not so much of a happy release this time is Battle of Mice, A Day of Nights. This came out in 2006, and it was a supergroup of sorts. There were three members that were associated with a bunch of projects. Josh Graham, who was in a group called A Storm of Light, did some visual stuff for Neurosis. And the vocals were done by Julie Christmas, who was from a band called Made Out of Babies, is doing some work with Cult of Luna more recently, and she's doing a bunch of other stuff, I think. And this CD is a bit of a cult classic through the years. It was put on Neurot Records, 7 songs, hard to describe. Female vocals, electronic elements of those groups like ISIS, Cult of Luna, Red Sparrows. Very emotional album, strange album. Definitely got to hear it. Unique album in my collection. And I said Josh Graham is one of the main members of that band from a group called A Storm of Light. And I just don't see where else I'd really talk about them, so I'm just going to take this out. This is the one A Storm of Light CD that I have. It's called As the Valley of Death Becomes Us, Our Silver Memories Fade. And I haven't listened to this one in a while, but I like this CD. And I saw them live once, co-headlining with Tombs, and they had a good visual show to go with the music. So, another modern band, Nothing. This album is called Dancing on the Blacktop. And I think this came out in maybe 2018. This is on Relapse, but they are ultimately a shoegaze sort of band. And I enjoy all the releases, but I think this one is the best. It's a little one note and samey compared to some of their other releases, but it's a really beautiful album to me. And you may see my son Patrick doing my more mainstream videos. And I have twin girls as well, and it just reminds me of the period that they were born, just before and just after. So, special CD for me. Xysma, Lotto. This came out in 1996 on Relapse, and Xysma were a Finnish death metal band, and they slowly commercialized a bit, but they ultimately became a straightforward rock and roll band on this album. And I don't think the songs are amazing, but it is a cool release, interesting period in time when this happened, and I think it's cool. And I didn't know that they put out an album like 10 years ago. I thought they were done after this. And more recently, in 2023, they have released a new single. So I'm unaware of what they sound like now, but I'm going to check it out. Finally, Clock Cleaner. This album's called Babylon Rules. And they were a punk rock band that formed in 2003. And this is the only release I have by them, but it's a dark, dreary, urban punk rock album. My favorite song on here is Out of the City. It just has that walking alone in a big city on a rainy night kind of feel. what else is going on? A couple nights ago, I went to see Rotting Christ in Toronto, and I'm not actually a huge fan of them. I like the first 3 albums and a couple songs here and there, but I can't even recall them coming to Toronto before this. Well, last year, but it got canceled. And they put on a good show, but it was almost exclusively new material, which I wasn't as much into. The opening bands, there were 3. There were Karak Angren, who are a Dutch black metal band, kind of. I wasn't into them. I tried them on album a couple times, and each time I get a couple minutes in and I turn it off. It's not for me. Uada, an American band, were second on stage. I thought they were really good. And the opening band was Gaira, who are a Portuguese band. And I bought this CD there. That was my takeaway from the night, that these guys were a cool band. First band on stage. Again, black metal, but unique. From Portugal. Some post-rock elements. I thought they were cool. And overall, had a good time. So, that's it for me. Thank you.